Good morning. It's a beautiful morning. I was just noticing I'm getting my first flower buds finally on my pole beans. So that's exciting. These have taken a long time. But I think we're having like just the oddest summer. I think everyone's having an odd summer no matter what it is. You guys, there's the airplane. That is so funny. I can't make it up. I can't. The few times I come out here, every single time to film. Maybe they just changed air traffic control patterns. I am going to be just picking, like every morning I come out and just pick what's ready to be picked. I definitely want to give you guys an update on the baby onion slips. I haven't done a true update on those in a long time. And remember, if you're new here, back in the spring and every year before, not every year, but the last 2 years, I've had great onion harvest using Dixondale's onions. Well, I think Dixondale's onions come from Texas, and if I could guess what happened is they got hit, by that hard freeze, totally unlike anything Texas is ever prepared to experience. And I would assume it did more damage than maybe they thought to their onion starts, and half of them didn't survive. Well over half, I would say 60% of them didn't survive transplant. And it might not be that, but that, in hindsight, looking back, I didn't do anything different than I've ever done before with planting them. So I'm just guessing that's what it is. So anyway, in the spring, I went and picked up from the nursery, probably if you grow onions yourself from seed, what it might look like, right? A little tiny blades of grass. And I'm like, I don't know what this is going to do if I have a long enough season here in Southeast Michigan. But I'm being pleasantly surprised with where some of them are at. I still have August, September, probably 80 days left of growing season here where I am. My first potential frost date is usually around October 15th. Sometimes we can stretch it into November if I'm lucky. So I want to give you an update on those. We're going to look through the bush green beans. I know they looked at a quick glance, some of them ready to harvest. I'd rather wait till the weekend if I can, but I want to check in and make sure I'm not letting them go too far. And then we're going to pick some things. You know what I have been so fortunate with? And I researched, I've had one tomato hornworm. Now I'm surrounded by wood, so I'm just going to knock on all of it. I found that one by chance when I was pruning, but that's very unlike anything I've ever experienced. And the only thing different that I did was I have the sunflowers with them, but I don't think a sunflower would be a repellent unless the hornworms are more attracted to the sunflowers. And then the carrots planted through, and I did learn that carrots can repel some pests when it comes to tomatoes. So I'm never sold on those things. I think it's a benefit, but does it really work? I don't know, but I don't know. I might have some evidence now that I should plant carrots with my tomatoes all the time. And those carrots are ready to harvest, and I have an inside secret. That last carrot harvest, I haven't even canned it yet. It's all still in my fridge. And carrots, once you harvest them, as long as you pop the tops, they'll last a long time. Like Todd's like, shouldn't you do those by now? I'm like, they'll be fine. But I got pink eye the week following, and I didn't want to handle any food preservation while I had pink eye. So that's all cleared up, very good and well. It's done. So now it's just motivation. And I will tell you that is something that I know how much work it is. And so just like I know I've got to harvest my turkeys. And you guys want to see those guys? They're always right there waiting for mom. Come feed us. So I know how much work harvesting my turkeys is going to be. It's a mental exercise, a physical exercise, and I spend a couple weeks just preparing for that day. Yeah. Anyway, just letting you inside my brain this morning. Sun is right over there. I don't know if you guys can see it. That tells you where it is in my world. It's starting to come back around. So in prime summer, it's right over there, and it starts working its way back for the winter. So it's starting to work its way back slowly but surely. All right, enough chit-chatting. Let me have one more sip of coffee, and let's head over to those onions so I can show you how they're doing. So they look good. I have battled more weeds in this bed than ever before this year. And I will tell you, sometimes I've accidentally pulled up a baby onion, like unrooted it, and I just plant it back. But look how big some of them are getting. That's a golf ball size. But I do have one. Let me show you down here. Look at this one. Almost, we'll call it racquetball. It's a racquetball. I would say the majority, though, are, ping pong to golf ball size. I'm thinking I might come through here and top them this evening. These would be at the height and stage that I would typically top my spring onions. So I think I'm going to do that. Give them a nice big feeding again. It's about time for that. And yeah, I might. I'm still crossing my fingers. I might actually still get some onions, so that's exciting. I'll take you over and peek at the red ones. Of course, my red onions, these are what I ended up being able to find at the nursery. Is these are the candy onion, and then they just called the reds red onion. I typically, if you're interested in growing onions for the first time and you want my recommended varieties, my recommended ones for storage from Dixondale are the copra onion and I think it's called red wing onion. Those are my two absolute favorites. So yes, pleasantly surprised. I do have a big blade of grass I see back there. Some kind of wheat growing I need to pull out, and borage that has self-seeded in my onion bed. So let me handle that real quick. Okay, this is my red onions. And again, just weeds like I've never dealt with before. And I don't know what I put in here that would do this. But they're, looking at them, they're probably similar to the other bed. And some of them have gotten laid down by the storm recently, so I'm just trying to help stand them back up. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, I think I'm just going to finish wrapping what I'm trying to say up here is, so I pulled up an onion. Don't worry about that. I'm just burying the roots back. They're young enough, they can handle that. And then I think I'm going to come in here and top. These tops are a bit further along than the candy onions. So I'm just looking at one of the bigger ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 onion blades. So each, if you didn't know, each one of these represents a ring around the onion. I would typically like to do it when they just have like 4 to 5. So I might pick and choose as I top these onions and not do ones that are too far established already. You guys are still recording. Sorry about that. So if you guys were out here with us a couple nights ago, We had a big storm come through and it knocked down this whole patch of corn. And I don't know if it's gonna work. I've never had success standing back up corn, never. And actually when I watched that video back, I'm sure you guys have already seen the video by now. I think that there's some more broken stalks in that section that we just didn't see when we were trying to stand it back up. So I'd expect quite a few of them are gonna die. But maybe I'll get a handful of cobs out of that patch, who knows. And the ones that I tried to stand up in the opposite corner, there was like 4 that laid down. I mean, they're like, you know, the front ends of them are standing up, but the whole cane itself isn't standing up. So I don't know what the trick to that is. I don't know. I kind of just talk to myself out in the garden in the morning. Do you guys ever do that? I'm just looking at it this time of year and I'm just like, man, there's only so much you can manage when it gets to, you know, certain big. All right, enough of that. Let's walk around and see what we can find to harvest. So I had an idea. I don't have like one of those strappable harvest bucket things, and my sons left a whole bunch of those like buckle belts when they moved out. I wonder if I could strap, we're gonna try it, if I could strap my little harvest basket around my waist. Let me see if we can do this together. And tie it on. Can I? I don't know if that'll work. Maybe. Let's see. I'm doing this backwards. I haven't used one of these kind of belts in a long time. All right, let's see. Maybe? Yeah, I think it'll work. Okay, there you go. Don't need to buy no fancy basket. Just get yourself a belt. You probably have a whole bunch of these laying around your house like I do from your kids, or, you know, back in the day, every single pair of shorts came with one of these. So, how about them? How about that? All right, let's pick some tomatoes. I made that TikTok feta tomato pasta dish again. I had Todd get more feta cheese from the store the other day. I'm like, I need that again. So we're gonna make that again this week. And I have plenty of cherry tomatoes to do that. Okay, I think I got them all. But I want to show you guys, look how big my sunflower is. Let me see if I can get you up there. Do you see that pretty, where's that? Right here. That pretty lemon queen. Maybe the sky's washing out. Oh yeah, right behind that leaf. Over here. There we go. It's easily 11 feet tall. All right, let's head over to the other side. And we'll get in here. See if I can get you guys down. Okay, everybody straight. Okay, we'll come in here. This is the back side of the tomato row. And, you know, I just feel like I jinxed myself with the tomato hornworm, so I'm like looking again. But so far, so good. Okay, my little basket gets a little tricky once it gets way down, so I think I need to tighten it and bring it up. Bring it up some. All right, there we go. All right, where should we go next? Let's go check those green beans in the bush section, and we'll see. They're looking heavy, so that's kind of the indication I look for that, yeah, they're kind of getting full probably of beans I need to pick. So this is my big patch of bush beans. It's probably, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 feet long, maybe 13 feet long, and about 6 feet wide. I planted it where I should be able to walk through here, but they've gotten so bushy that I can't see my pathways anymore. But we're gonna try, and what I'll do is I'll come from the other angle so you can see how I am trying to find my navigation lanes. Stupid Japanese beetles. So I think I can wait. These bush beans just got so big. It's very hard because they're all laying down on top of each other. I think I can definitely wait, but they are really nice sized beans in there. But it's Wednesday, so I think I can wait till Friday to get in here and do a harvest. It's not going to hurt anything, like just some really nice beans. These are not my favorite. I'm surprised at myself that this is what I planted, because these are like I have to go back and watch the video to see what I planted, because I'm so surprised at myself. You know, they're the flat bush green beans, not the round. I like the round ones, which I think Blue Lake, I could have sworn I planted Blue Lake. But these should be stringless. Yeah, they're stringless, because that's another thing I always look for. So, all right, still plenty of flowers though, but I need to get this first harvest done, because that's something that you want to do. You want to harvest and harvest and harvest, because the plants will keep producing then. If you aren't keeping up with the harvest, the plants will kind of shut down on you and think that it's done, right? And you just want to let all the future life go to producing more new beans. Found another couple onions hiding over there underneath the lettuce, so pick those. All right, what next? What do you guys want to see? I wish you were here and you could tell me. I am going to give you an update on my flower garden here soon. I just want to get in there and do some deadheading. First, I want it to look pretty for you. So I'll bring that update to you guys this week too. And I do have a question on celery. Let's go over there, because this is my first year growing celery and I'm not exactly 100% sure what I should be doing and when I should be harvesting it. Okay, so this is, I think, 6 celery plants. And as you can see, they are, let me just snap a stalk off. Really, really nice, beautiful celery. But I know that there's, like, the thing is I don't know if it's self-blanching or the type that you need to blanch, which is a process by which I'm not really sure that I understand it. But if, let's just say it wasn't self-blanching, you would need to like tie up the stalks and wrap it around it, and I guess it makes the stalks sweeter and less bitter as it grows. But can you guys see down here? How do I know when to do anything with it? I would say that, how tall is that? That was an outer leaf. Maybe 8 inches they are. So if you guys have any tips on at least how to identify if it's blanching or self-blanching, or should I tie them up, or should I be harvesting them, I'm really clueless. I do have an update on my gete squash behind you guys as well. So remember, I found my first squash vine borer in here in this big section, and I did some more wrapping. Well, I think I didn't get it all, and you guys gave me a whole bunch of tips. That's what I love about gardening, is honestly, it is a forever learning experience. If anyone claimed to know everything, they would have to probably be 150 years old and have gardened every year of their life in every different region and climate around the world. But so many of you gave me the advice and input of wherever you learned it from, but also directed me to, of course, to James Prigioni, which we follow and love. And he had just done a squash 5 tips, I think, to growing healthy squash plants. And one of his was tips was minimizing the damage of squash vine borers. And the tip was to go along the vine and bury it along the way in a couple strategic spots, and it will reroot itself. I honestly had no idea that a squash plant would do that. So I have done that to the skeet squash just because it is my one thing that I want to make sure I get. And I see a female flower and I see a male flower. And so we are going to get in there and have some happy time and make sure that we make a gete squash. Okay, so here is my female, and I've got a bee in there. Good job, sweetie. Come land in the male flower and then go back, and you can just do the job for me. Here is where I have, see if I can get that all the way. I have buried the vine right here. You know what? I don't think I need to do this self-pollinating because these bees are all over this, but I guess it wouldn't hurt. Oh yeah, there's bees all in here. So I'm gonna just pop this male flower off. Tons of pollen in there. And I'm just gonna, I know, I'm sorry, but I need it too, not just you guys. I'm just pulling them back, and then we're gonna put this down in there. So if you guys can see, there's the fruit. Oh, let me see if I can get all these leaves all the way. The fruit of the gete squash, and I just put that male flower stamen in there. Lots of pollen on it. Okay, I think I got plenty in there. And then I have also buried this squash vine one other place. I don't see, oh, right down here. So hopefully we'll be okay. And it really looks healthy. Otherwise, you know, I think I have passed squash bug egg laying season. I haven't seen any new squash bug eggs in a really long time. Well, I say really long time. I would say probably 4 or 5 days. And so that's good. I have killed a couple adults since that video that I brought you guys, but no more eggs. So now we just need to get through the squash vine borers and see if we can make it with this one. Everything else I feel secure with. Pretty peppers. Nice. It's really the same rule for anything that you're harvesting. The more you pick, the more the plant's gonna produce. So that's kind of a lot of times why you pick those early first fruits, so the plant can put its energy into producing more for you. I'll sacrifice one of my peppers to show you guys when you know it's not time to harvest a pepper. So you know how you can kind of still see the ridges, not these big ridges, but you can still see these slight ridges versus one that's really nice and smooth. You can't see any of those fine line ridges in the skins. Once you get this nice, flat, clean sheen and not all those indented ridges, you know a pepper's ready to harvest. Whether it's the right color or not, it's still edible at this stage, but it's not to its full, you know, capacity of growing. Okay, got some big zucchini, a little zucchini, and a little squash. And I see a couple new baby patty pans growing, but maybe not quite ready to harvest. So thanks guys for coming out in the garden with me. My little new harvest basket concoction worked great. So now to see if I can get it off myself. All right. Yeah, works good. Nice little basket of goodies. All right, so I'm gonna take these in. I have to go to work, and I will see you guys either in the kitchen or back out in the garden again soon. Hope you guys have a wonderful time, whatever you're doing today. Happy growing, happy gardening, and I'll talk to you guys later.